Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name's Danielle and I'm the owner of Dan Fancy Creations and the Drunk Flamingo Glitter. If y'all are new to my channel, I do want to let you know that all of my links and groups are posted in the description below in case you guys want to check them out. Everything you see listed here will be covered in our tutorial today. I am loving all of the vertical vinyl and glitter stripes. I did so many of them when I did my Western tumblers last month and I love the look of them. Today, half will be vertical stripes and half will be a really pretty ombre completed with a fun vinyl decal and of course leopard print. If you guys have questions, please feel free to ask below and I'll come back and answer them. But for now, we're going to go ahead and get started on this tutorial and I hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys, so the very first thing we're going to do is remove the bottom of our tumblers. I like to use a metal putty knife. I just jam it down in between the cracks, hammer it with my hammer, and it lifts up really easily. All of the bottom of Steel Magnolia's tumblers have a little cap like this. It's so easy to remove and they're really fun to fill with glitter or crystals or something fun. If you guys want to check out the Steel Magnolias, I do have a discount code in the description below for you guys. And once I pop the cap off, I just throw it in the trash can or use it for inks or paint later on. So now that our bottom cap is removed, we can go ahead and spray paint our tumbler and start to decorate it. I just cut some thin strips of this vinyl. This is a new fall vinyl pattern that I have available on my site, thedrunkflamingo.com. This image is also created by me and is available for digital download also on the Drunk Flamingo. And these 5 colors are our August Flock Box colors. Now you can divide your tumbler in half if that's how you want to do it. I actually sized this half of my tumbler according to the size of my decal. So I just put my decal on my cup and marked about where the decal ended. So I knew if I wanted this decal to fit one side of the tumbler, this is the size I would need to make it. And then I just taped that side off with painter's tape. That way I would get nice, clean, sharp lines when I went to apply my glitter ombre. So once I have that side taped off, I know I'm going to apply my vinyl strips to the opposite side. So I am just laying down one piece of vinyl. And I thought I was going to overhang the vinyl, which is why I left some exposed, but I ended up changing my mind later, which you will see in the video. So I am applying vinyl to either end of this half of the tumbler so that when I do my glitter ombre on the opposite side of the tumbler, it will be vinyl that is next to the glitter and not a different glitter color. I just think that will provide a sharp contrast to the two different sides of the cup. And my vinyl strips are different sizes. I don't really ever cut them specific sizes, but I typically will do them between a 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches. I just use my little Cricut cutter that I have here and just cut thin little strips. This one actually might be a little less than 1/2 inch. I am definitely someone that doesn't like things to be the exact same size. I like to kind of break it up with different widths. So now that I have my vinyl on, I'm going to go ahead and remove the painter's tape. And I did go ahead and fold this over because, again, I thought that I was going to do the bottom like I usually do, but I ended up changing it up a little bit. So I was deciding what colors I wanted to be my ombre, and I actually really like Summer's End and Autumn Sweater together. Autumn Sweater, which is the chunky mix, actually has some irregular cut fine rose gold in it, so the ombre was really easy and flowed really nicely together. And it was in this moment where I decided to switch up how I did the bottom, only because I was using the Autumn Sweater on the bottom half for the ombre, and I didn't want that chunky glitter to be on the bottom rim of the cup. To me, it's just easier if you use a fine glitter. You're not going to have to worry about getting it as smooth as you normally would. So I ended up just cutting this vinyl off and peeling it up, and then I taped off the bottom so that no glitter would get on the bottom. Don't mind me right now, I'm just trying to get like all the glitter, or sorry, all of the vinyl out of the first cavity. Since I had already pressed it down in there, it's kind of hard to get out. So right now I am just taking electrical tape and I am just taping off about 3 millimeters of the end of the tumbler. And this was the last piece of electrical tape that I had. I had to go buy another roll after this. And then I'm just folding that down on top of each other. So now when I apply my glitter, none is going to get on the very, very bottom. So I'm going in with Artistry's glitter glue. If you guys have not tried their glitter glue, I definitely recommend it. It is nothing like Mod Podge. You guys know I never use Mod Podge unless I absolutely have to. This stuff is amazing. I compare the coverage to Epoxy because it smooths out and it soaks up the glitter enough so that you can do a really nice ombre. I always have an extra bottle on hand so that I never run out. And if you guys want to try Artistry's products, I do have a link and discount code for them as well in the description. So I'm just going as close to this vinyl as I can without overlapping. And then I'm smoothing out any little ripples, and we're going to sprinkle our glitter. So I'm going to start with my chunky and just cover about 1 inch off the bottom. Then I'm going to angle my cup and sprinkle some glitter so that we get a nice little gradient water falling up the cup. The more you angle your cup, the more your glitter will fall. We're going to bang that off really good. And then we're going to go in with our fine color. If you guys were not able to grab a flock box, these colors are now available on my site. And I'm just doing the same thing. I am just sprinkling this fine glitter into the chunky, and the fine glitter will fill any spaces that the chunky glitter did not fill. Then I bang that off really good. Those colors look so pretty together. I think these two may be my favorite colors out of this month's box. But Grand Autumn, which is the orange, is also another favorite. So now what I'm going to do with the other 3 colors is just fill these stripes. So we're just doing the same thing. We're going in with Artistry's glitter glue. And we're going to sprinkle on the glitter. I only ever need one coat when I use their glitter glue. Unlike Mod Podge, sometimes you have to do multiple coats. Next, we're going to go in with Grand Autumn. The green chunky is Orchard. And then we're going to sprinkle on the glitter. And then we're going to go in with our last color, which is Harvest Moon. I also really like this color. It's a green, rose gold, and a little bit of a mini chunky mix. And we're going to sprinkle this on. And then we're going to set this aside and let it dry really well. So once this dried, I brushed everything off really well and I sealed it with Rustoleum 2x clear. And now we're going to apply Artistry's epoxy. This is my favorite epoxy. It is a 1-to-1 fast set. And it is typically cured in about an hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on your weather. But I get really good coverage. It is a thicker formula. There's also very minimal bubbles and can be used as a top coat. So we are just going to smooth everything on. You guys can see that we have our little stainless bottom exposed a little bit. I am just taking this epoxy around the cup, making sure that everything is covered really well. And then I will typically smooth from bottom to top just to make sure my epoxy is smooth. Make sure I get any globs off of there because I don't want my epoxy to cure uneven. And then I will also take my torch and torch the tumbler for 1 rotation. Then we will be ready to decal. So I believe this is after 2 layers of epoxy. I have sanded it really well. I took my sanding block and sanded around the top rim so that we have about 2 millimeters of epoxy exposed. And now we're ready to apply our stripes. I am using a holographic pink and an opal pink. I am laying down the colored vinyl first, and then I'm going to go back with my black and lay that on top of the pink vinyls that we're using. Typically, when I cut out pinstripes, I cut full sheets at a time. I typically do 0.07, 0.05, and 0.03 sizes. That way I have a few different options and I can layer vinyls if I would like to layer them like I'm doing on this cup. I've been using a lot of black and gold lately, but I thought that these pinks went really, really well with the vinyl and the glitter that I chose. So we decided to go with those. And I am just trimming off the excess wherever the glitter or vinyl ends at the bottom of my cup. I thought this one would be long enough, but it wasn't quite long enough. So we had to get another one. And with the vinyl colors, I'm also alternating them between the little vinyl strips or the glitter strips. That way I don't have the same colors next to each other. So now I'm going to go in with my black. So I'm going to choose a black stripe that is thinner than the pink and gold ones that I just applied, and we're just going to apply this right down the center. This video is sped up just a little bit, so I am taking my time to make sure that the black is pretty centered. I just kind of smooth it down a little bit, make sure it's centered. Again, cutting off the excess at the very bottom. And this black was exactly the size that I needed, which never happens. So now that we have our lines on, I had to decide where I was going to put my decal. I thought about putting it in the center, but then I realized that that would cover up the majority of the ombre that I did. So I decided to add it to the very bottom of the cup. So I just peeled up one little side, made sure that it would go on smooth, and then smoothed the rest of the side down. And I actually really like the placement at the bottom of the tumbler. I don't think I have actually done it that way on a cup before. And then while I was looking for my pinstripes, I found this random leopard vinyl that I had. I believe I printed these out last year when I was doing pins. So I just decided to add a few to my cup because I put leopard print on almost everything. Because why not? I like how it kind of filled the empty space on the top half of the tumbler. And then I added some more just kind of next to the little pumpkin or jack-o'-lantern. Kind of spooky, kind of sweet. So I was pretty happy with how this guy was turning out. I did decide to add a little vinyl ring along the bottom of the tumbler just to kind of complete the bottom so it didn't just kind of dead in into the stainless. So for this one, I decided to take black and wrap it around the entire base. And then I went in with another color. I'm sorry I'm out of frame here. I thought that my cup cradle was in view of the camera, but I will show you guys what it looks like. I just did the same thing I did with the vertical stripes, but I just kind of reversed colors. So I laid black first and then I laid the gold. So I just really like how this kind of completes the look. And now I'm going to put this on my little turner and I'm going to seal everything with Artistry's Quick Seal. This is just a urethane sealer. Nothing bugs me more than pinstriped vinyl lifting under epoxy. So I like to just give it a quick little seal just to make sure that everything stays down and it doesn't lift. No epoxy can get under there. And even though you don't have to seal printable vinyl, which is what my Sweet and Spooky decal is cut out of, I do find that if I seal it, then it produces less air bubbles. So I do like to seal them. And once we seal everything and it dries very well, we can apply our next coat of epoxy. So again, we're just going in with Artistry's 1-to-1 fast set, the same as we did before. Typically for a cup this size, this is a 16-ounce plump. I would use about 15 mils. I did mix up a little bit more because I do have another cup on my turner that I will be epoxying with this one. And I'm just making sure that I cover all of this vinyl. Making sure my decals are covered. And then again, I'm going to wipe from bottom to top, get off any heavy epoxied areas, make sure everything is smooth. Then I will hit it with my torch, and once this layer of epoxy is cured, I will fill the bottom cavity with glitter. I did film it, but for some reason my video cut out, so I will link another video now showing you guys how I do that step. And here are some finished pictures. I love how this tumbler turned out. It just screams autumn. It has autumn colors, a jack-o'-lantern. It was so fun, and I think it's adorable. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and if you attempt this cup or use any of August Flock Box colors, be sure to post in the Drunk Flamingo so I can see your creations. If y'all enjoyed this tutorial or learned something new, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to catch the next video coming up that was chosen just for you. As always, if you're looking for more tips, tricks, or tutorials, be sure to check out my tutorial group or my Damn Fancy tribe that are both on Facebook. Thanks for watching.